Alright, so I have all the parts for the gravel harp, which is sort of like a non-motorized trommel. And before we start, I have already super glued these, and depending on your 3D printer, you might have to use a file to get these parts to line up good. Yes, you can ignore the super glue spill over here, because that's my printer that got a hiccup. Same goes for this grate here, or grate. I have super glued these points, so that might also need some file work. So that's what I have already pre-assembled. So to start, we're going with the I think it's the it's the rear leg. I think part 1. Yeah, spring leg part 1, part 2. So we're gonna insert a spring into that part, and we need the M3x12, and you might have to file these out some because you want them to run smooth. And spring back like that. Oh, sorry. Spring back like that. And then you push this together just a little bit and insert the M3x12. And yes, I have made a little mistake here with this one, because I drilled it out to 3mm, and now it don't do that, drill them out to 2.5mm. So that's that, and then we're gonna pre-insert a M4x12 in there. Same on the other side. You can also put some grease in here, if that would make it run smoother. Again, M3x12. I prefer to put them in like this, on this side. This one I never drilled out, but it's a little loose. I have corrected that in the final model. So you might have to drill these out to 2.5mm also, and for the M4 holes, drill them out to 3.5mm. So there we have the spring legs already, front legs. We're just gonna insert the M4x12. Might want to get them pointing out just a little bit. Excuse me if the camera is shaky. My GoPro mount that I was going to use disintegrated a couple of weeks ago. So now we can start assembling the legs on the frame. And it's not like-sided. This is the rear, this is the front. See, this plate thing here is all the way flush, and here on the rear it's a little bit inset. So what we're going to do is screw this in, and I like to get them started by hand. I also like to finish them by hand. Now I'm doing this because that one is quite loud, and go with the front as well. okay if they're loose. Put that in like so. Now the front legs, you want the two holes that are close to each other on the outside, and you want these holes pointing forward, because that is for the front plate. This front plate is quite optional if you want to make it with a 3D printer, or if you want to make it with something else, some other material. Protrude that a little bit. So it's easier to find the holes with it. So, and you want to make sure that you're getting it quite tight. Sometimes when you thread these parts, you get a little gap. You don't want too much of a gap. Might cause problems later on. So that's that. Now let's start with the side plate. This one, see, it's not light-sided as well. This one is leaning because the rear leg is leaning, or the spring leg, and this one is 90 degrees. So we want M3 by 10. From this point we're only using M3 by 10. And I like to get them started. Sticking out a little bit. Because they're easier to line up then. So that's one side. Actually, I think I have some different M3 screws here. I'm gonna use these here. Oops. And I opted for Phillips screws because that's what I had, and I think they're quite handy. If you want some other screws, that should work. I can't guarantee. I'm going to put that on that side, and then I'm going to take the front plate here. And I like to use the print bed side out, but you can switch it either way. I mean, it's up to you. Same here. I'm just gonna put these on so they're ready. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is take this side first, I mean this front plate first. Now I'm gonna use this one to awaken the dead. And then we'll go to the other side. As you can see. But it saves my hands. And then you go over and put the side plate on, or the stabilizer. Stab the stabilizer on. Sorry, I'm gonna have this. Start with one side like that, and come on. Like so. Then we put it on the front. Other side. As you can see, this is not the final revision. I had to hand drill those holes here, but don't worry, you don't have to do any of that. I have already made most of the mistakes and adjusted the model accordingly. For the final stretch here, the last two screws. There we go. So the idea here is that you want this to be able to move a little bit. So now, for the final assembly, we just click this in. Like so, and voila, done. Here we have what I have translated to a gravel harp. So it's like a harp. And how this works is you come from this side and you tip your bucket onto the grate here, and if the mass gets stuck on the grate, you just tap it with the bucket lightly and it should just fall. And this particular grate is gonna, hopefully, I mean, it's meant to sort out anything bigger than 7.5 millimeter. I might, or I probably most likely will include other grates. That's why I made this, so you can just pull it out or pop it out and place another one in. So now everything, how should I say it? All the big stuff goes down here and all the fine stuff goes on the inside. this side. So you just reach in here with your bucket, pick that out, tip it to the side, or you put your bucket in and carry this to another location, whatever you want. So there it is. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the files for this model, this nice little gravel harp, is in the link in the description if you found your way here through YouTube only. Thanks for watching. Hope you have fun.